Drops it off to Will Coleman for the tomahawk.
Oh, my. Will Coleman off the run.
He dominated on the court. Now he brings his talent to the microphone. Welcome to the Will Coleman Show, a Bluff City Media audio podcast. Stepping up to the microphone is the big man himself, Will Coleman. Now, let's get to the show.
What's poppin'? What up? Listen, let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. First off, let's talk about this beautiful space. This beautiful space. If you're glued in, or if you're hip, or if you're, whatever your fancy is, just Bluff City Media as a whole. If you've been here and you've watched from other shows, I'm sure you've seen the space. Now, have you seen the space? This is my first time in this space, and it looks amazing. And from everybody I've spoken to, and my man Kay, there's more to come. So I'm super excited to be able to sit in this space and share this with you all.
You look good in the space, man.
I appreciate it, man. I want to make it a home, and it is gonna be a home, and we're gonna dress it up, and we're gonna make magic in this bad boy.
Yes, we are.
So I'm excited. Also, just because this is the type of person I am, I love being, transparent and with all my followers. There's been just the Will Coleman Show, period. There's been a bit of inconsistency, only because, there's been a lot of family issues going on and a lot of stuff that I've had to tend to, scheduling conflicts and a lot of other stuff. But I got a lot of stuff up my sleeve, so hopefully we can get this thing rolling, because I want to grow and be happy and just meet so much of the community out there, not only from a fan standpoint, but just friends, community, safe haven, vulnerability. There's so many different things I want to bring to this podcast, and just being able to have the platform to do it with every single one of y'all that do tune in, that do watch, and everybody on the other side of this thing. To give me a space to be able to do that and give me an outlet. So,
well, Will, it's clear to me, man. There are quite a few people in this city that want to hear what you have to say. So it's dope, man. I'm grateful that we get to be a part of helping you grow this thing. And I know the family stuff has been going on, man, and you got to take care of yours, man. You got to take care of your people, man.
That's the plan. That's the plan. So hopefully, the dust has settled. So we gonna get this thing rolling and be able to pour into this, and I'll be able to pour into this, and I want to pour into this, to just, for multiple reasons, but I won't get into all of that. It's a lot of different things. Maybe I'll address it one day, but I want this thing to take off and just blow the socks off of everybody. So we're gonna put in the work, and we're gonna make it happen. Now, let's talk about something. I know usually I get on here and I get to screaming about the Tigers. There's a few things I want to touch on, and it'll just be a quick blurb. First off, it's just two really quick, things. I want to give a huge shout out to, and I'm sure everyone's mentioned it, saw it, looked, but I want to give a huge shout out to Katie and DeAndre, as they went up to Portsmouth a couple weeks ago and absolutely just blew the socks off of everybody. Would you expect any less? I don't think so. KD has shown he's one of the best guards in the country. Obviously, the only thing that's really hurt my guy, his game is just, he got an all-around game. Can score, can pass, get his team involved. Obviously, if he was just 6'1", be a whole, we'd be having a totally different conversation. I just, I hate it. It is what it is. But like I said, you give him, if he's 6'1", you gonna have scouts salivating at them. Am I wrong?
No, I don't think you're wrong at all. It's crazy. He posted some pictures yesterday. I think he just worked out with his hometown team, the Houston Rockets, yesterday, I think. And then now he's got one coming up with the Dallas Mavericks. KD will have a spot in the NBA.
Okay.
I legitimately think so. I think you got a guy who's a polished scorer who can, clearly lead a team, who can shoot the ball, who's quick on his feet. The only, like you said, man, I think the only thing that has held him back is just his size. But,
Oh, yeah.
tell me the Grizzlies wouldn't have loved to have a shooter like KD in a backup role during this playoff series.
I'm going to tell you this. People may call me crazy. But I think if you got a spot for Tyus Jones on your roster, you got a spot for KD on your roster.
I mean, I don't disagree with that.
I mean, legit the same player. And I'm obviously it's hard to compare because you got a collegiate player again, with an NBA caliber guard. I just, shooting you, it's hard to compare. You can compare shooting numbers, but situations are different. Obviously, the distance is different. You got a different ball. I mean, there's so many different things. But in my opinion, I feel like if you got a spot for Tyus Jones on your roster, you have a spot for Kendric Davis on your roster.
I mean, I could legitimately see the Grizzlies get off Tyus Jones this summer. I mean, because he's going to be a trade asset, right?
For sure.
He's going to be a big trade asset.
Oh, yeah.
Turnovers are such a huge part of the game.
Oh, yeah.
And he's led the league in assist to turnover ratio for the last 5 years straight, I think.
Yeah.
So Tyus has definitely, got a spot in the NBA. But I could legitimately see the Grizzlies moving off Tyus and thinking KD might be a decent option. You saw what even guys like Kennedy Chandler did when he came in.
Yeah.
He's got a size issue as well. The biggest thing for him, I think, that he's going to struggle with is he's just not a great shooter. And but I think a guy like KD could step in and really kind of provide a spark off the bench for an NBA team.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited. And I don't know, man. The Grizzlies just don't like drafting Tigers. I think they've had plenty of opportunities to get a Tiger. And, some people might say, well, it increased ticket sales and all this other stuff. I don't know if that's the case necessarily, if it'll, drive attendance or drive ticket sales. But Grizz don't like drafting Tigers, man.
Who do you think they could have had the opportunity to take and didn't?
I think he's a better player now. I think they could have kept DJ Steffens. I like DJ at the time when he was playing. And I think this all comes with maturity, obviously. Back when DJ was playing, or, back then, DJ couldn't really – he was an athlete, right? Just could dunk the ball. It wasn't really too much to his game. Couldn't really put the ball on the floor. Couldn't really shoot it back then. But now, the DJ now, I've watched. I still keep in touch with him. We talk often. That's my boy. The DJ now, he understands the game way more. There's more tools to his game. He can shoot the ball. He can put the ball on the floor. There's so many different things that he can do. But I think the Grizz could have held on to DJ. I know Chandler wasn't a Tiger, but I liked him. But to your point, wasn't the best shooter. But long, athletic guard, loved to play the passing lanes. Again, I know we spoke about this previously. Deflection should be a stat that is in the NBA, that's in the stat box. That's on that stat sheet. I just think we could have done a lot of things. I mean, even Will Barton went late in the second round when he got drafted out of school.
Man, I'd love to have Will Barton on the Grizzlies now.
That's what I'm saying. Got a long, wiry guard, can score, can put the ball on the floor, can rebound. I think we could have stole. I think that would have been a steal. I don't know, man. I don't even know who we took that year. That was what, 2012 or that was 2012, or was it 2011?
Let me see. Will Barton, NBA draft. He came out in 2012. Let me see what the Grizzlies.
Yeah, who'd they draft that year?
2012 draft. They picked up. Let me find it. We're almost there. They got Tony Roten Jr.
Yeah, see.
Remember old
yeah.
Tony Roten?
Yeah, man.
They got him with the 25th pick in the first round.
Yeah. Yeah, Yeah, see.
And when did Will go?
He went late second.
Was he really?
I think so, to the Trailblazers.
Yeah, you're right.
He went late second.
40th pick overall.
Yeah, man.
Good call.
Yeah.
That would have been an interesting pickup, right? Like
Yeah.
obviously Tony didn't last in the league, and Will Barton has lasted. He's had multiple contracts.
Yeah.
In the league. So,
Yeah.
he would have been a good one, I think.
He would have just, and the same thing I said, and the reason I said what I said about Will Barton, because that was the same thing that the coach and the scout said about Will when they drafted him. A crafty wing player, slasher, wiry, energetic, loves to rebound. That's what got him drafted. Or that's what when he went and did summer league and then he did all of that, that's what the coach said he loved about him the most: his energy, his rebounding, and his slashing ability. But now Will Barton, is stout. Will score on you and will give you a bucket if you let him. Like, don't sleep on Will Barton. He's a go-getter, and that would have been a steal for sure for us, I think. But,
It'd be interesting, man. I think it's going to be interesting to see what the Grizzlies do with their draft picks this year. They have quite a few. I think most people, most really smart Grizzlies guys that work for BCM, Parker, Joe, all those guys, Sean Coleman, Chip Williams.
Yep.
All those guys have, you hear them talk about it and they're saying, man, we'd love to see the Grizzlies get off their drafts and get off their picks and go get a veteran player, a couple of veteran guys.
You know what? Let me tell you, I'm gonna give you a hot take. And it's just so cyclical, I guess. We're just transitioning right into, because we'll address what we really want to talk about. Obviously, it just broke the internet today, but we'll get to that. But my manager over at Toyota, of course, I think everybody knows now, sell cars. But my manager, huge shout out to him, Grant Bailey. He said something the other day, and at first, when you first hear it, you're gonna be like, "Oh hell no!" But when you really think about it, it makes sense, man. It makes sense. We need to draft, or not draft, pick him up. Everybody gonna say, gonna sound crazy. Everybody, just hear me. He came up to me and said, "Will, I think we need to pick up Pat Bev. A vet, a dog on defense, somebody that can really just take Ja under his wing and rein him in." And at first when I heard back, because everybody feel the way they feel about Pat Bev, right? It's just one of those guys you just absolutely hate playing against, but if it's somebody on your team, you're like, hell yeah, I love me some Pat Bev. So everybody gonna easily say, nah, hell, we don't need, no. I think Pat Bev is a guy you want around Ja Morant.
I don't know, man.
No,
you need productive. When I say vet, I'm not talking about somebody who has just been in the league a long time and has stuck around. I'm talking about somebody who's productive, like somebody like a DeMar DeRozan type guy, somebody that's a proven scorer. You need somebody that can score. You add Pat Bev to the equation, you get the same type of energy that Dillon Brooks brings to the table, and that's somebody who talks a big game, but
true,
but doesn't have the offensive ability to back it up.
True, this is true. But Pat Bev has never talked or boasted about his offensive game. He'll easily tell you how he feel about his defense, and he plays defense, and he plays it well. Now, Dillon, on the other hand, has shot his foot off, multiple times, literally and figuratively, okay? Which, obviously everybody hears about it. Everybody has seen it. Everybody has heard. We will, they released a statement today. We will not be pursuing or continuing anything with Dillon Brooks after this season. Go figure.
That is tough. That statement coming out, if that's coming, and it has to be coming from the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
That's under any, they said literally word for word, under any circumstances, we will not be pursuing or signing Dillon Brooks to a contract because he's an unrestricted free agent. So he literally can go anywhere he wants to go at this point.
True. It is true. But like at the same time, they always, I don't know who said it first, but everybody has heard it. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And even just reading that statement,
yeah, man,
that tells you that the Grizzlies organization is fed up.
They are
with Dillon
over.
Brooks.
They're over it at this point. Well, it came out, even some more reporting came out after. It was posted in our Discord, and if you're not in our Discord, you got to be in there. The Discord continuously is popping off. But they came out and said that the Grizzlies had been in contract negotiations with Dillon's people all year. They had offered him multiple contract extensions, and he turned them down. And then the LA series happened. And it was the LA series that was the straw that broke the camel's back for them, that made them say, you know what, man, we're willing to let this trade piece go with zero compensation just to get him out of here. Like, that's wild, man.
The question is obviously, Dillon Brooks needs to do a lot. Obviously, he needs to work on his mouth. He needs to work on his temper. He needs to work on his game. At this point,
put those in order. What does it need to work on most?
Just his mental, man. I think his mental has a lot to do with everything that's going on with his game, the way he talked to people, his energy. I think it's not to where he need to go seek therapy, but I know there are sports psychologists out there. I know they're out there, and I know that's a thing. But I don't know what he needs help with. Maybe he just need to get in the gym and just put up 9,000 shots a day. I don't know, but I'm not a shooter, so I can't critique his form.
You got buckets, bro. I've seen it.
But Dillon shoot like it hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a not need.
You see that follow through and you're like, there's no way.
Yeah, like which finger is it coming off of? Because I know some people shoot off the front too. I know some people shoot off the middle too.
What do you shoot off of?
I shoot off the front too.
Yeah. It was actually interesting. When DeMaria, not to totally change subjects and go to the Tigers for a second, but DeMaria Franklin last year came in and he had been scoring 18 points for is it UIC? Is that where he was?
Yeah.
Was an offensive threat, could shoot the ball decently well. When he came into the Tigers, when he was cleared, struggled for, a few weeks with his shot, and all of a sudden it started to go in. And I pulled him aside on the court one day, and I said, "What have you done? I can tell something's different." And he said, "Literally, I'm trying to get the ball off my palm and into my fingers when I shoot."
Yeah.
It's that little minuscule difference that makes a huge impact on your ability to shoot the ball, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And there's so many different, and then it can vary if your hand's bigger or smaller. Like I remember one time, the very first time I met Penny, I was down in Miami. I had no idea who he was, because I didn't play much basketball. I didn't start playing basketball until I was like a senior in high school.
What?
Yeah. I just didn't play. I didn't play.
Man, we need to get Christian Fowler in here to interview you.
I
want to hear that story.
I didn't play. And so I get down to my only thing I knew about basketball was, 96 Bulls. My mom was a fan. Everybody had a crush on Michael Jordan, and all those guys. That was the only thing I knew about basketball, really. So I get down to Miami. I'm in junior college, and I'm playing, in like a pro-am type ordeal.
Yeah.
And I'm meeting all these guys, and people are trying to tell me who these people are, and I have no idea who they are. But I'm asking questions. I'm meeting, I met Tim Hardaway and his son. I'm playing with them. I'm playing, with Carlos Arroyo. I'm playing with Jason Williams. I'm playing with Penny Hardaway. I'm playing with all these guys, and I have no idea who they are. I just know when I played with these guys and they're passing me the ball, I was having the time of my life. just because I'd never played with anybody like this, and I'm getting just dunks everywhere, just around the rim, guys just finding me. And it was a blast, but I met Penny, and he came up to me one time, and he asked me, because I was trying to shoot the ball. He was like, you got, pretty big hands, this, that, and the third. And Penny shoots with like, he keeps some air or some space in between his palm and the ball and like shoots off his fingertips. And I'm like, it's totally different for me because I wasn't a shooter. I just dunked everything at the time. Again, I was just an athlete. So all of that stuff and learning the game was really different to me. But when Penny showed me that, it was really awkward because, I just never done it. But to your point, everybody has their isms or their ticks when they shoot because, everybody varies, hand sizes and techniques and everything varies. But like you said, it's just shooting the ball. Everybody has to find their way to shoot the ball. And Dillon looks like he shoots it a different way every time he lets it go.
Let me ask you this. If Dillon had talked the gang of stuff he talked in that postseason series against the Lakers, but had come out and had hit 15 points a game, had knocked down some open threes, had guarded well. I mean, even the very thing that he's known for, he wasn't. I mean, Xavier Tillman guarded LeBron better than Dillon did in that series.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that all this uproar would have happened if he had actually been producing during that series?
Oh, no way, man. Like if he was producing, if he was giving us 15, the way he was talking, if he was giving us 15, 8, and maybe 3 steals, it's cool. It's cool. Causing a couple turnovers, keeping LeBron, I obviously I've never guarded the man. I've just seen him multiple times. I feel like if you could keep LeBron, if you can contain LeBron between 15 to 20 points, you've done a great job. Because LeBron gonna get his.
Man.
Even at 40, he gonna get his. If you can keep LeBron between 15 and 20 points, I'd say you had a pretty damn good day at the office on defense. That's just my opinion, because I feel like LeBron could easily average 30, 35, but he's just getting older. So now he's having to be smart and really, just really utilize his weapons and his team. But Dillon didn't give us none of that. He gave us headache and turnover, and he arguably made us the laughing stock of the NBA.
Is it not crazy? Do you remember a few months ago when all that uproar happened with the Golden State Warriors and Dillon and Draymond were going back and forth at each other? And Draymond says something that I thought was one of the most in-the-moment savage things I've ever heard. He said on his podcast, he came out and he said, the dynasty for the Grizzlies starts after you, talking specifically to Dillon, not with you, but after you. And it's like, in the moment, I was like, God bless, man. Like, that is brutal. Like, that number one, that's ridiculous. Number two, man, that is a brutal thing to say to another player. But here we are, Will. Here we are.
I mean, that's Draymond's another one of those guys that a lot of people hate, but I'd love a Draymond on my team. He's extremely smart. His IQ's through the roof. And
is he a Hall of Famer?
I don't think so.
Oh, I think he's without a doubt a Hall of Famer.
You think so?
4 rings?
Yeah, but okay, yeah. I mean, if you bring in the ring conversation, yes.
4 rings, a dynasty team, probably the best team that's ever played, and he's the guy that. Listen, man, Steph and Clay are the best of the best at what they do.
Has he made all-team defense?
Yeah, I'm sure he has. Let me look. But you're talking about a guy who.
I'm just frustrated.
Why is my internet going nuts? Sorry, man.
You're good.
All defensive team. You're talking about a guy though that the offense runs through, right?
Right.
He's a 7-time member of the all defensive team.
Oh, all right. Okay.
So here's
okay.
his stats. Are you ready? 4-time NBA champion, a 4-time NBA All-Star, a 2-time member of the All NBA team, a 7-time member of the All Defensive team, and a 2-time Olympic gold medalist.
Okay. All right. I'll take that. I need to do my homework. I'll take that. Okay. Hall of Famer, Draymond Green. Throw him in there.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a guy that his pick and roll, his passing ability, his defense has been kind of the engine that has allowed that offense to continue to go.
Damn.
You know, like Steph has gotten so good at getting to the basket, but Klay Thompson has never really been a get to the basket guy. He's a rub off screens and shoot.
Shoot. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what Steph was for a long time as well. And they got wide open shots because of Draymond Green.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. Okay. I stand corrected. We throw him in there.
But just back to this whole like Dillon thing, like that statement though, like the dynasty starts without you. And honestly, man, I hope that's prophetic because we are now in post Dillon Grizzlies era. And
the Grizz, the front office just got to make some smart moves, man.
Man, they got to make some moves this offseason.
I don't know, man. I don't know why we can't get it right. I feel like everybody else, you know, I saw something the other day on the internet talking about Pelinka. How you say his name? But basically Lakers.
Yeah, the Lakers GM, Rob Pelinka.
Mm-hmm. It seemed like the brother just know basketball. Now, does LeBron have a say-so in this stuff? I think he does. I mean, you got to listen to a guy like that. You just got to. Even if you're putting a team together, I don't care what your front office is doing. If you got a LeBron-esque guy on your team, I mean, you only doing your due diligence by letting him sit in on some of these meetings.
Yeah, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I legitimately think that the NBA saw the Lakers were struggling, saw Golden State was struggling, saw their money-making teams in the Western Conference struggling halfway through the season, and I think they facilitated. I mean, because the Lakers literally they basically became a new team before the trade deadline. They got rid of everybody except for AD and except for LeBron,
but that's the thing. To your point, like even if you're looking at the Lakers roster, to your point, when these guys get traded to this team, unless you just a basketball guru and you're in the know, your average American or your average fan is going to look at these teams and be like, "Who the hell are these people?" I mean, I'm just keeping it like if you don't know, Austin Reeves came from a podunk town. I mean, where's he from? Is it like Arkansas or something?
No, I think he's from. Is he from Missouri? Let me see. I know he played ball at. Oklahoma.
Yeah, but he transferred.
Yeah, he played. Oh, he played for Wichita State for a minute. He played against the Grizzlies. I mean the Tigers. Him and one other guy for the Wichita State put a beating on the Tigers a couple of years back.
Yeah, man.
He is from Newark, Arkansas.
Yeah. Like, come on, man. When you see, if you don't know hoops, if you don't know basketball and you don't follow these guys, nobody is going to know who he is. I mean, they grabbed Vanderbilt out of nowhere. Like,
Austin Reeves' whistle was stupid during that series, though. That man was getting LeBron-esque whistle as a scrub dude off the Lakers bench.
But listen, I've never played an NBA collegiate game, okay? And I can say that and I will talk about it, but let me tell you, Pee-wee, middle school, high school, college, overseas, and it seemed like NBA. the refs are going to give the calls to the most aggressive team.
It's true.
The team that's playing the hardest and complaining the least, that's who gonna get them whistles.
You ain't lying.
That's who gonna get them whistles. And Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura both had their way with us.
Yep.
And I just don't. They grabbed Rui from, a Washington squad where he was. I mean, he was. Would you call him a role player over at Washington?
Well, I think they drafted him to be the guy, but
He fell into that bucket though because he wasn't producing to be that guy.
right.
But he come to the Lakers. I mean, you got more size. You got a guy. I mean, you get 3 through the 5. The game is changing, so you're not gonna have your typical 5 anymore. Rui can hit. Now he can knock down shots, put the ball on the floor, play defense a little bit, finish around the rim. I mean, you get these guys. You got Vanderbilt, 6'8", 6'7",
Yeah.
guarding Ja.
Crazy. Picking him up 3/4 court.
Right. Like, who are these people? And your average hoops fan or your average spectator is gonna be like, I don't know who the hell these guys are, but they playing some basketball. Your diehard fans gonna see, game recognized game. And everybody I speak with and talk with, when you see Reeves, yes, he's a great basketball player, but having a guy like Reeves who isn't the most athletic, but the IQ is there, you put him around a LeBron gonna make him better.
He's going to get 10 open shots every game just because of LeBron passing the ball to
Every
him.
game. But playing with a guy like that, and you got an organization that's pumping you what you need to hear, your confidence is gonna go through the roof. So now he's setting up pick and rolls. He's running the offense. He's putting the ball on the floor. He doing everything he can to help that Lakers squad win and to give, just take some heat off LeBron because he's a threat. But just this Grizzlies, this series, they made us look crazy, man. They beat us by 40 points the last game. 40 points in an NBA playoff game.
We talked about it last night on the Bluff. On the Bluff City Media had 2 watch parties for the away games during this series. Lost both games by an average score of 25 points. So we are officially retiring watch parties.
I mean, you got, because when you look at that game, you got, an AD looked like a monster straight from Space Jam.
When he's on, he is legit unguardable.
You can't guard him. Play defense. He blocking everything in the paint. He can put the ball on the floor. He got post moves. He got footwork. He can shoot it. He's 6'11". And he bent Jaren over every trash can in that stadium every time they played.
Jaren will be back though. I love it. I legitimately think that this series loss, the way that this season ended, if you know anything about Ja, Jaren, and Desmond, this is only fuel to that fire.
Oh, they're gonna bounce back for sure. I wholeheartedly believe it. I just think they just young. And we can never. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's off the court stuff. Maybe it's just freak accidents. But I just want us to be able to go into a playoff run healthy just one time.
Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Just one time, man.
Losing Luke Kennard during that series was tough.
Yeah,
because
Shooters lead.
He obviously stretched the floor out. When you had Ja, Dez, Luke, Jaren, and anybody else that fit that position, the floor was just wide open, man. Like they were. If you had Tillman out there, the floor was wide open. Ja had open lanes. When it was Dillon out there, man, you could look at the footage. Ja had nowhere to go.
Nowhere.
Like they were packing the paint on him.
Nowhere.
They were, where was he going to go? How was he going to get to the basket?
Nowhere. Let me ask you this. One last question before we wrap this up. Colin Hurd made a statement the other day.
Yeah, Colin Cowherd.
Yeah, made a statement about Ja Morant, saying the Grizzlies are better and produce more when he's off the floor. You know, he called him a highlight reel and said he was a great athlete, but wasn't really a great basketball player. I have to reread it, verbatim, word for word, because people can water down stuff and misquote things. But basically, just all in a nutshell, said the Grizzlies are better without Ja Morant on the floor. How do you feel about that? Okay. Okay. All right. Again, this is just, I heard, because I've heard so many people
Will.
talk about it. I've heard so many people scream about it on, obviously you got your Facebook fans and, your Fairweather fans and all these people, but somebody that's a fan and Colin, and people make hot takes and people say certain things that may sound outlandish, but I'm just curious to know, how people, and I tend to ask everybody that.
I'm just going to give a plug to Bluff City Media and Will Coleman for 1 second, okay? This is the reason why those kind of comments are the very reason why legitimate fans of teams, whether it's college or NBA, need to focus their time and attention on the local media that covers those teams, because you got things like that. You got Charles Barkley. You got Colin Cowherd. You got Stephen A. Smith. You got all these different guys who literally, and they can sit here and, I'm going to use the Stephen A. word, they can bloviate all day long about how much basketball they watch. But it is clear to me that when they talk about the Grizzlies, it is clear to me that they don't watch the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
And so while they have huge audiences and get paid a poop ton of money to do what they do, just understand that these guys aren't watching the team the way that guys like Will Coleman, the way that guys like Parker Fleming, the way that guys like Joe Molinax, Sean Coleman, Chip Williams, everybody else who covers the Grizzlies for even, let's go outside of BCM to Michael Cole, Drew Hill, our family over at Grind City Media. Like, these are the people you need to be paying attention to when it comes to covering the Grizzlies, because we're in it daily.
Yeah.
That's my I'm going to get off my sermon, my soapbox.
No, it's all good. I think that's something that a lot of people need to hear, and I think that's something that need to be addressed, and I think that's something that need to be talked about, because, now, there are guys, you got, like you said, you got the Stephen A's and your Collins and you got those type of guys. Those guys are damn good at their jobs, don't get me wrong. And obviously, I think a lot of people that are in the sports realm aspire to be on that platform or be that caliber of an analyst or, commentator or, however you want to spin it.
Professional click getter.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, aspire to be that. But at the same time, you got to pay attention to these guys that specialize in their respective sports. And I think everybody on the face of this planet, and I'm a huge fan, and I would like to be as cool as him one day, but I think JJ Redick has the biggest balls on the face of this. Just in terms of what he talks about, what he's getting to you, the facts, that just everything he's talking about, you can't help but love JJ Redick. He's a player-first guy. He's always looking out for his guys. He's played the game for a very long time. Probably has stories out the wazoo. So when JJ Redick gets on a mic and starts to speak, you have no choice but to listen, especially when it's basketball, because that's all he speak about. That's what he know. That's his bread and butter. That's what he do. And he spends his time debunking and putting fires out and making the Stephen A's and Collins and all these guys feel about 2 feet tall, because that's just what he do. You got to pay attention to who you listen to, and you got to pay attention to your outlets, and you got to pay attention to who. If I went out there, again, this is me calling, if I went out there and I got on a podcast to speak with, Christian, TJ and Trey and all, and I got up, started screaming about some football, they gonna look at me like I'm from outer space.
Dude, I produce their shows and I look like an alien half the time.
Yeah, I'm like, what is y'all? And it's just so much more, so many more intricacies to football. You got a 53-man roster, and summer ball, making cuts, rotations. Yeah, so many different things. I know the game a little bit. You know, you got 4 chances to score first down, field goals, touchdowns, extra points, offside. I mean, there's a lot of things, but you know, you're not gonna ever catch me up here screaming about an in-depth football blurb. I just stay away from it because I'm gonna make myself look crazy. But hey, I'm getting on a tangent as well. But just pay attention to you guys, man, and just really just lock in. I think we got a solid crew. To Kenny's point, man, and we got some good stuff rolling. So I want everybody to stay glued in. Just hang around and just pay attention to what we got going on. We produce some big things here, and there's a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. So Will Coleman here, the Will Coleman Show, coming up next. Keeping up with Coleman. I got a real interesting question, so you may need your pen, pencils, notepad, whatever you got, you're gonna need it for what I'm about to ask you. So stay tuned, get your materials ready, and we'll catch up with you here soon.
What's up, guys? I'm so excited to announce that we have partnered with Coaching for Literacy, and you can read more about them at coachingforliteracy.org or follow them on social media at Coaching for Literacy. Your subscription to Bluff City NIL is 100% tax deductible because of our partnership together. Thank you for supporting Memphis Tiger student athletes and helping promote the monumental cause of childhood literacy.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Catching up with Coleman. Listen, I asked this question. I have a question for everybody. I asked this question. To somebody. And now, again, like I said, I need everybody to grab their pen, papers, and whatever you need, cell phone, notepad, whatever you got. And I'm gonna ask you this, Kenny, and I want you to, you know, kind of give me your analysis. You're gonna need to think a little bit, okay? So, this has been a question I've been asking a lot of people. Now, I've gotten a lot of great answers. Here's the question. You're in an arena with the following. I will name the following, and then we'll go from there. You're in an arena with 2 that are defending you, and the others are attacking you. The goal is to stay alive for 1 hour. So from this list, I'm going to name them off. And I want you to think about it, and I want you to choose 2.
So 2 are defending and the rest are attacking.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to put how many? Can you tell me how many are on the list?
9.
9 on the list. So we
Yes.
have 7 attackers.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 2 defenders. Okay,
Yes.
go ahead.
All right. Here we go. You got 50 hawks,
50 hawks.
10 crocodiles,
Oh, boy.
3 brown bears,
Okay.
15 wolves,
Mm-hmm.
1 hunter with a rifle, and it's not in the equation, but we'll just say unlimited ammo. 7 buffalo, 10,000 rats, 5 gorillas,
Oh, Lord almighty.
4 lions. 2 are defending, the rest are attacking.
Okay. I'm missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm missing 2. I got wolves. Why can't I read my own
So
handwriting?
you should have hawks, crocodiles, bears, wolves, hunter with rifle, 7 buffalo, 10,000 rats, 5 gorillas, 4 lions.
Okay. All right.
You only get to choose 2.
Okay. I'm waffling between two to switch. How many bears?
You got 3 brown bears,
Okay, and how many gorillas?
5 gorillas.
Okay. All right. What do you do? You want me to give you my list?
Yeah, I would love to hear the 2 you choose to defend you, and obviously the rest attacking you. And
Okay.
if I don't know if you have a why, I would like to hear that. But if you haven't, you can think about it, and then when we hit back next week, you can let me know.
I got a why.
Okay, all right. I'm excited.
That's the reason I switched. The 2 defenders.
Okay,
The first defender is a hunter with a rifle, unlimited ammo.
okay,
The second defender is 5 gorillas.
okay. Ooh,
And I'll tell you why.
okay.
Because part of staying alive for an hour, you have to have some strategy to it.
Right.
Gorillas are the closest thing in terms of brain capacity, in terms of the ability to monitor situations and think
Okay.
as humans.
I like that.
So you got a human with a gun,
Right.
but also the human with the mental capacity to try to sneakily get around.
Uh-huh.
Gorillas obviously are just monsters. They're beasts. They're huge, but they also have that same kind of capability.
Okay.
Now, some of these animals that you put in here are not predators. So, like rats aren't
Okay.
predators.
Right.
Hawks aren't predators. Depends on what kind of. Did you say brown bear or grizzly bear?
Brown bears.
Brown bears aren't predators. Grizzlies are. Brown bears hunt.
Right.
So you're talking about a bunch of animals that more than likely aren't gonna come after you
Right.
unless you're threatening them.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna just lay low, be chill, and the only time they really go after you is when you're attacking them.
Right.
So that's the 15.
Yeah.
The 15 wolves is a big one though.
Yeah. I like your answer.
But
I like
that's
your answer.
That's my theory, though. You've got a bunch of animals that aren't predators, so they're not going to attack because they're not predators, and I'm not going to provoke them to attack to where they feel like they have to defend themselves.
Right.
My gun, my rifle, my human with the rifle is literally going to be there just to defend, right?
Right.
So, but you also have the gorillas and the humans that can work together to.
Yeah.
So that's my answer.
I like that answer. I really do like that answer. And I really didn't think about it in that to that capacity. I like your answer. I'm sitting here thinking, that's probably the most educated answer I've ever gotten. Because, most people are like, I had somebody pick 10,000 rats and like the Hawks, and their thing is like the rats is just so many but like you said, rats are running from,
They're
running
scared.
from innocent.
They're underground,
Yeah, they're
man.
running from everything.
Yeah. The wolves are predators. They are very, very smart, very sneaky. Well, you won't know that they're there, and the next thing you know, you look up and there's 17 of them sitting around you in a circle going, all right,
Yeah.
here we go.
But like if you got a silverback gorilla, I feel like a silverback
But if you got
gorilla
5 gorillas,
could clear out, quite a few of those things.
yeah, man. And then you got the gun too.
Yeah. I'm stealing your answer.
Lions are one thing. Lions will attack, but they're also, man, like they're also not really. They hunt more so than they attack.
Yeah.
They're just all about the grub.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my answer.
I'm for sure stealing your answer. For sure. Next time I ask somebody that and they say, what would you pick? I'm picking the rifle and the gorillas. and I'm going to explain it just like you explained it. I'm
Where did
stealing
this?
that.
I gotta ask you, where did this question come from?
So I spend a lot of time, man. Just I listen to a lot of things. I can get lost on the internet really quick. I think everybody can if they spend enough time on it. And a lot of the time, I spend a lot of stuff doing. I'm looking, at ideas and stuff, especially with all the dad and stuff that I want to do. I want to host a lot of events, and so obviously and push the whole, like I said, the 10 more brand that I want to, get off the ground. And we'll talk about that later, and maybe I'll have my daughter in here, or we'll get into that. But I get lost on the internet sometimes when I go down rabbit holes, and Twitter can be a very, very insightful place, and it can be a very, very dark place. And I'll go ahead and say it, Twitter is low-key, can be a porn website as well. It's terrible. Now, you use the tool as you will, but I spend most of the time finding stuff that is helpful for me and stuff that I can use to better myself and motivate other people, things like that. But I tripped upon this question. I was like, this is a good question. It has a lot to it. This is a great question. Different people have different thought processes behind it, and yours, Kenny's, by far the best answer I've ever gotten.
Whoa.
For sure.
Anybody that knows me is probably going, educated answer? What
Yeah.
are you?
I mean, and you came, that was off the rip too, like off the dome. And like most people are like, let me think about this. I don't know. But you came back quick. Maybe we should just ask you super awesome questions and put you on the spot more often and just see what happens.
You got
Just
me
see what
talking.
happens.
I'm running off 1 hour of sleep right now, so I'm just flowing.
Man. Yeah, I'm still in that answer. But think about it, for those that are tuned in, for those that are listening, think about your answer, man, and get them to us. Like I said, we're working on a lot of things. We want to get some live stream going. We want to get some things going so we can be more proactive, more interactive during these tapings and this show. But we're going to get there. So again, be patient with us. Be patient with us. Now, obviously a segment that I love. It's one of my favorites because, I love positivity and I love talking about all the great things in life. Obviously, the Bluff City Bad Ass is probably going to become one of my most favorite segments because I want people to come here, laugh, giggle, cry, all the things, and just end it with a touch of happiness. Now, I've sat and I've thought. And obviously I want the Bluff City Bad Ass to just, shed light on Memphis because Memphis, needs a lot of positivity right now. But I'm going to speak about two things. The first thing is I haven't decided what I want to be able to gift people because I want this thing to grow to where I can reach out to people, Zoom calls, and I want to be able to give out T-shirts. And there's a lot of things I want to do with this segment. So I'm still thinking on it. And when it gets to that point and we have the capacity to make it happen, we'll make it happen. But also, the Bluff City Bad Ass will go. I hadn't gotten all the information yet. And I don't like spitting a lot of things because, so many different things can be spread so many different ways. But what I've seen and what I've read, I want to give the Bluff City Bad Ass to the off-duty officer that got into a full-blown shootout in front of Huey's a few days ago to just stop some carjackers.
Wasn't that yesterday?
Yeah.
Man.
Like,
Did you see the video?
yes.
Man.
Like, how badass is that? I mean, granted, brother just trying to enjoy a cheeseburger.
He just wants to eat a Huey burger,
Just
man.
want to eat a Huey burger. I mean, not to
Fiesta
mention
chicken wrap.
Yeah, something, man. They got, and they got a shout out to Huey's. They got some great food. If you're not from Memphis, you're not gonna understand. Because I've had my friends come from out of town that go to Huey's. Like, man, this punk ass burger. But it's a Memphis thing, okay? It's a Memphis thing. Now, my boy was just chilling. And I don't know, it was an uproar. Maybe it was, I don't know if it was his car. I don't know all the details. All I know is, bruh saw it in his heart to put his food down, to go put his life on the line. Because in the video, he didn't have on any gear.
He was off duty.
He was off duty, man, just hanging out. But he saw it upon himself to just go out here and just start blasting on these fools. Now, I don't know if he went out there and just started shooting. I don't know. I'm not a police officer. I don't know how that worked. Obviously, I don't think you can just legally just go out and shoot somebody as a police officer, even if you on duty or off duty. But if I ain't got no gear, this is how I know I can't be the police. Because if I see that, first thing, I'm not on duty. Not on duty. I'm not on duty. They can, we'll get them next time. But this man, and that's the difference between, me and every other selfless police officer that actually wants to do good in the community. I mean, bruh, just, you the man. You got the juice, dog. I don't see it any other way.
Yeah, man, it's a different mentality to be a first responder, right?
Yeah.
Someone who runs to chaos, someone who is willing to risk their life for people they don't even know.
Oh yeah.
It's another it takes a different kind of mindset to be able to do that. And man, props to that officer. Thankful that nothing happened to him.
Yeah.
Maybe let that car get stolen and don't risk, not being able to go home to your family. Yeah. But congrats to that guy. That guy was all you gotta do is just find that video, and you realize why Will's giving him the Bluff City Bad Ass, man. It was a badass move.
And it's just so crazy, and obviously, I don't ever want to get political on my platform. I just that's not my lane. I know it's so many people getting so many things, but these gun laws, they do all these things, but I'm willing to bet I'd say 97.9%. 98% of the people that carry a firearm don't even know how to shoot it. Like you there's a correct way. There's training. You have to properly know how to use and shoot a firearm. And I'm willing to bet a huge percentage of these people that have them don't even know how to shoot them. They just modify them to where they shooting 19 bullets a second and doing all these crazy things. But it was crazy that if you watch that video, the amount of bullets that sounded off, and that police officer wasn't fazed. There may have been, evasion moves and tactical types of things. But if you watch the video, this police officer straight up, confronts these guys. He's in broad day. He's not hiding behind anything at the moment. And you can see him wield his weapon. Hey, y'all need to get out the car. And then all of a sudden, gunshots go off. But you got 3 individuals. You got one person that's in a getaway car. You got one person who's a lookout. And you got one person inside the vehicle. Now, who has the weapons? Nobody knows. But, I mean, I guess you got to be a pretty badass guy if you see 3 people and you're unfazed, unscathed, and you're able to tag some of these guys that are shooting at you. I mean, it don't get much more badass than that.
It's a good one, man.
But thank y'all. Police officer that got, I want to figure out who it is because, like I said, I want to get t-shirts. There's a lot of things that I want to do for this segment, and we're going to make it happen. It's called manifesting. We're going to do this. We're going to make it happen. And we're just going to be kicking ass all over this podcast, man. Just the whole Bluff City media gang. We in here. We doing big things. We about to make some noise. Thank y'all for tuning in this week. We'll catch y'all next week with another action-packed show. Y'all have a good one. Stay safe. Peace and blessings for everybody. We'll catch y'all soon.